My name is Cheri Miller. I grew up in Winthrop Harbor, right here. I'm a single mom. My son Andrew is 12, has autism, epilepsy, and a rare fatal heart condition called Loeys-Dietz aortic aneurysm syndrome. I served in the military. I was a Navy corpsman. I'm on disability through the military, so I'm home, which works out well for all his doctor's appointments. And he's pretty much my life. I just started actually making cakes, just for family and some friends and stuff like that. That's kind of turned out to be my new hobby, stress reliever. Other than that, I don't have time for much else. I'm not sure what I thought life was going to be like when I got older. Like every child, I had dreams of what I wanted to be when I grew up. I wanted to be a lawyer. I'm very good at debating and arguing. I also wanted to be a marine biologist. But then the time came when I wanted to join the military. I'd see the commercials for the Coast Guard, the drug busts in the waters and stuff, and I wanted to join the Coast Guard, and then it switched, and it switched, and it switched, and by the time I was probably a sophomore, junior in high school, I knew I wanted to be in the Navy. I had a huge poster that I got from the recruiters. It took up an entire wall in my room, and it was a submarine, and it said, "Navy, our pride runs deep." And my dream was to be the first woman on the submarine, which obviously didn't happen, but my dream was to join the military, and I did. Growing up, God really wasn't in the family very much. My biological father's side, they are Polish, so my great-grandmother used to take us to church a lot, Catholic church, but it was only when we saw her. Really wasn't spoken. My mom's not against God or anything like that, but it just wasn't something that we talked about at home. I never really actually learned about religion at all. But we did do Christmas. We did do Easter. We went to actually the North Point Church when it was the old North Point, the little green church over on 9th Street. Even though I wasn't raised that way, I still thought of him. I mean, because I hear people, talking about him. I wasn't completely oblivious, but I don't think, as a child, I knew as much as people who went to church. With my son being diagnosed with the heart condition, you can't help just think that you have a child who has a heart condition that there is no cure for and he will die. I try to hope science, catches up and that there's a miracle and I get to keep him, but not in my hands. It was then that I actually, I guess, kind of looked at the whole reason why things, God makes things happen for a reason. I remember the moment I sat there in the front yard and it clicked. It's just like the light bulb went on. I didn't fully yet, but that's when I started, things started registering. So I kind of looked at it as that was like a test, like teaching me, helping strengthen me for what was to come. My sister's murder is what fully turned me. My sister was murdered in January of 2011. It took us a month to find her body. Everything in your life is significant as to who you are and how you want to be. And when there's a murder in a family, it almost defines you. It makes it so hard to go on. I mean, you can't stop thinking about it, and then it's stuck in your head. What did they feel? How did they feel? What were their last moments like? What the heck was wrong with that person who did it? The things you would like to do to that person who just did it. And then you have to pull yourself back. It's hard for me to work on forgiveness. It's like you relive it every day. You have to go to court and look at this person. Her murder, honestly, I mean, it changed my life for, there's bad things, but it changed my life for the better as well, I have to say, because I honestly don't think I'd be sitting here right now if she were still alive. There was a point when I remember turning everything over to Jesus and surrendering. It was pretty much the point when I decided I had to get baptized. I'd been coming here, feeling the difference in my life, and just wanting to be a better person, do what's right. My nephew, he goes to a Lutheran church up in Wisconsin, and the family had been going there for years, like 40 years, and he wanted, his mom's service to be there, and turns out they wouldn't allow it because my sister wasn't a member of the church. So I came here and talked to Tim, and of course, welcomed us with open arms, no problems, Hearing my grandma, who is pretty religious, kept talking about Tim in the service, and, I couldn't remember everything, but I knew it was wonderful. I knew I felt something, and the words when Tim didn't even know my sister, and we just told him some stories of my sister, and he just wrote the whole thing out, and we just said, go for it. And just the passion, and you could just feel God through him and his words. It took me a while, though, to start coming. A friend of mine came here, and she just, like, do you want to go? And I'd say yes, and I'd make up an excuse. No, I just wasn't ready to come here and sit there and see at the front stage, where the stage is, my sister's urn in my head, seeing the urn, seeing everything. I just couldn't do it. I finally came. She doesn't even come here anymore. Like, I don't know where she went. But I still come all by myself. I still come, and I came here a few times to talk with Mindy, which is about some feelings I had, and she passed the Plan B book on to me, and I read, still read that all the time. And coming here for that first time, and coming in here, and just feeling, you just feel God in here when the service starts, the worship, just unbelievable. Every time it's something different. You can just really, really feel God when you come in here, and you can feel it through worship, you can feel it through the sermons. When I first started coming here, the first theme was forgiveness. I was not happy. It was the first day of the theme. On top of that, I was so mad. I did make it through. I can't even say I barely made it through. I ran out crying. I just left. And I believe it was 4 weeks long. And each time, finally, like the third time, I made it out to the foyer. But then I left before anyone else came out and saw me bawling my eyes out. And then the last one, I cried through the whole thing, but I stayed in there. When I first started coming here, I believe in June, and she was just murdered in January. We had our service here in April, so April to June, and I started. I was not happy. I was not happy with the theme at all. But I kept coming. I wasn't happy about it, but it opened, what's next? What's next? And I needed to learn. So what's next to learn? What's next to learn? It was one of the forgiveness ones when I ran out of here crying. Jen ran out after me, and I had no clue who she was. And she just stopped me and just sat there and hugged me right under the front, and I just bawled my eyes out on her, snotted all over her, and cried. I didn't know who she was. Something I still remember to this day. And it took forever for me to figure out who the heck she was, because I never saw her. She saw me. I didn't know who she was, and I'm asking Mindy. Mindy wasn't here. She didn't know. No one knew who this mysterious woman was who came running after me to hug me. But that was nice. How many people do that? But I think that's one of the things too that, it was nice coming back here and knowing that you're loved from the minute you walk in the doors. I love Jesus because he gave his life. Who does that? He gave his life for us, and we are all so messed up, and broken, and full of sin, that he loved us enough to do that. I believe in the sacrifice that he made. I believe that he He died for our sins. And I love everything about that. I could say I would give my life for my son, but I mean, that's my son. Of course I'd give my life for him. He gave his life for millions and billions and billions of people. He loves us as his. To go through that much hell, I can't imagine. And then to have Mary right there, I mean, if that was my son, there's no way. There is no way. I would have been taking him. We would have been running away. There's no way I would have allowed that. And yeah, I mean, that is why